All right. Now, this question, I want you to give me the most convincing answer you possibly can. Why should I listen to this mixtape?
Because you got free copy in your hand. Next question.
Next question. I don't know that, Nas said hip hop is dead. But of course, when he said that, he of course had his reason for saying that. Initially, when you first heard that, what was your initial response?
I think my initial response was similar to a lot of people where your back kind of goes up. And, we love hip hop. How could Nas? We love Nas. How could Nas say hip hop is dead?
Right.
And then when I kind of think about it a little bit, then I kind of decided, well, I think Nas is too smart to believe that the culture and music that he has grown up on could be dead. I think this is really some reverse psychology business.
No, marketing strategy.
Nas, we always credit Nas as being so, he's an intelligent dude, and I think he flipped it on us. So that's why we took it and we said, okay, he's really not saying it's dead. He's saying, yo, you better stand up and make sure that you believe in it and that you want it to stay alive so that it flourishes and grows and evolves. So that's what we kind of do with this brand, is say, no, well, we live up here, so we can take what Nas said and say, you know what, we're going to counter that and say it's not dead. It lives in the north because of this reason, this reason, this reason. And if you downloaded the mixtape because of this track and this track and this track and so on.
Dave, what about you? What was your first impression when you heard that?
Of what? The Nas quote? At the time, like I was just like, yeah, you know what? He probably is right, because it was at the time when everything started to shift. You know what I mean? From, we came out of the golden era. We came out of the era where Brooklyn was kind of doing it. Jay was big at the time, and then all of a sudden, Lil Jon and stuff like some of that southern flavor started to come through. And Nas, at heart is a true MC. Like he takes that East Coast. That's the flair. That's the whole pizzazz on the East Coast. You know what I mean? So. But like Biz said, man, I think it was definitely an effective marketing strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna say something like that, and you're Nas. Everybody who likes Nas is gonna be like, yo, what's this guy saying? And at the same time, you kind of get an idea what the album is gonna be about. You know what I mean? So it was a good little marketing strategy. He spawned a business out of it too.
You know what's funny is me and shout out to Leche and I from Off the Tracks. One of the first out there hustles grinding with these t-shirts we did was at a Nas concert at Pool House. Him and I went too deep, wearing the shirts, and then stood outside in the cold in the winter. It was like January or something. We had t-shirts, holding up t-shirts, yelling at people, yo, buy these t-shirts, hip hop ain't dead, it lives in the north. And they just came out of Nas concert, who was on the run for hip hop is dead. So we was like, jump off.
Spawn another business, man. That's what it is.
If this was something that was never said, would you still have come up with the same idea, or would you have come up with something different? Because he said it, that's why he came up with it. So what would have happened if he never said anything like that, or if it wasn't said out?
No, but I mean, that's one of the great things about it, is that everything in hip hop is spawned as a reaction or a sample or something that's taken from something before it. And this is in that same vein.
Okay. Now, of course, everybody goes through the valleys and the peaks of starting businesses and stuff like that. So when you first started with this whole thing, what was your expectation? What are some of the things that you went through, in terms of trying to build it up and build a brand that everybody could recognize?
Well, one of the major things was the touring that we were able to do. I went on tour twice with Dames and Peter Jackson. The first time was with Busta, and the second time was Pharoah Monch and Slaughterhouse. We also sent a special edition shirt with Cardi on a tour the year prior to those two tours, and then as well a smaller group, Lethal Combination. They took it out on their tour. So the touring definitely got the product out across the country in a way that we wouldn't have otherwise probably done that, and gave us a degree of leverage in those markets when we started to approach retail. So that is a major step. My partner Jesse Plunkett, he's my partner in the t-shirts, and he runs Hip Hop Canada. For anyone who doesn't know, Hip Hop Canada is a staple of the culture in this country for 10 years strong. So definitely, like that, when he came on board, which was very early, that led a whole new network and everything to what I had already started through Crack House.
Okay.
But I mean, the touring I think is something that I attribute to the growth of it very, very much.
Cause like the touring is like grassroots, you know what I mean? Thus far, you know, until that point, really, it was more like a grassroots kind of movement, you know?
Yeah.
Like you said, you were at the concerts, you know, on the curb, you know, like here you go, it's right here in front of your face. So with the touring, it's the same kind of effect. And the effect is even better because you're getting people who are already involved in that cultural atmosphere, like that culture. You see what I'm saying? It all boils down to they're already there supporting hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're
so
looking
it's perfect.
And especially in those small towns, like
Exactly.
you remember Dames when we were
We've been to some armpits, man. Like,
Yeah.
we've been to the armpits. You know what I'm saying?
Was it Regina on the Busta tour? It was like the smallest venue. There's maybe like 100 people
Saskatchewan,
in there.
little,
And it was either Saskatoon or Regina.
Okay.
And we sold, it was like 100 people in there, and I think we sold like 30 t-shirts.
Oh yeah. No,
Everybody had a t-shirt.
that was Regina. That was Regina.
People were stealing
yeah.
drinks on their
Yo, we
shirts.
got pictures of that. We sold
Like,
mad t-shirts that night. Yo, it was crazy in there.
it was like we took over the party, and the thing was that everybody was like drinking around our sales booth.
Yeah.
So it was like the booth. It was
Like the
big,
chill spot.
You know what I mean? The chill spot.
Yo, that was great though, man. It was so cool because those are spots like you don't know what to expect when you roll up in spots like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And it also lends to the credibility of the brand, right? If like if you are in a town like that and you've gone out to a show, someone like Busta, or if you've gone out to check Peter Jackson or whatever, and then you see this brand, oh, you guys have come to me, boom, then that's gonna build the loyalty of people with that saying and with that idea and say, yo, they came to me right here, so I'm gonna look out for that.
Okay.
Because before the tours, it was like, we did our work in Toronto through
Right.
Crack House Radio and other places I could get.
Right.
And we was at Import Fest and we were at outside, you know, King of the Dot and Battle of Beatmakers and pick a hip hop show, I was at it.
Right.
But then once we got out on the tours, then that said, okay, for the country, like something was happening here. You guys, they probably had seen it online already. But
Okay.
I got it to their face. So.
Of course, Mr. Diz, man, how do you get involved in the making of this third series, man? How do you
yo, honestly, at the time it just made sense. You know what I'm saying? I was due to put a project out.
Right.
I was due to put a Canadian project out because I didn't do one since, you know, I don't know, April of last year or whatever the case may be. So I kind of, you know, I was just like, honestly, I called Biz and I said, you know what, why don't we just do it together? Because if I'm going to put one out and you're going to put one out, it just makes sense to collaborate because we know each other, we know, you know, what we're going to do with what we have.
Right.
And it just worked, you know what I'm saying? We sat down, we linked up, we got songs that we liked, we discussed songs that, you know, me and him didn't necessarily 100% agree on, and we just made this list.
Okay.
And we had a couple joints, a couple drops from a couple people, a couple exclusives were given for the project.
Right.
And, you know, we just took our time, put it together. Biz was, you know, more hands-on with the marketing and the publicity out of the mixtape.
Okay.
Whereas mine was more creative than anything else. But, you know, at the end of the day, here we are, man. We had a mixtape party for it. You know, we're doing real strong with the downloads. We got the physicals out now.
Right.
And we're just moving with it, you know?
Of course. Now, would you say this is the best one yet?
I would say that just because I did it. I would say that, you know what I'm saying? No, man, you know what? I think I've heard every single one of them. I was involved on part 2. I wasn't involved, but I definitely had first dibs on the first one.
Right.
And you know, man, they're really put together well. You know, all 3 volumes are dope. Shouts to DJ Big Nasty who put the first 2 together.
Okay.
But you know what, man? It's at the end of the day, all 3 volumes are real dope. You know what I mean? I would encourage you to, you know, check the websites out, do all the research you can, and find the download links and get them all because, you know, there isn't too many outlets putting it down the way we're putting it down. It seems like in Canada, like, the mixtapes are still where it's at, even though we do have the underground, or not the underground, but we have radio shows and specialty shows like this. The mainstream isn't really accepting all the talent we have.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, we got a whole bunch of, you know, A&Rs from the States coming up here and they want to snatch up all the talent, you know what I mean? So,
And of course, between the two of you, what would be your favorite song?
favorite song, man, there's a lot of good joints on there, man. I really like that Kinspoon record, Toronto's Own, just because it's something a little bit more exclusive. Like, I don't think too many cats have that. The beat is sick. He's rapping on it, he's singing on it, it's all him, man. And that one right there really kind of was just like, yo, that one ended the tape right, you know what I mean? Like, and then of course the Rock the House one before My City, that started the tape right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just, there's so many songs on here, man, but like, what is there, 20 something? There's 25 tracks. You know what I mean? But I would definitely have to say it's either one of those two records. The Red Way song is yo, I can't even tell you. I like all of them, dog. I like all of them. I know.
What song you like?
Andre knows me. He knows what I'm saying, bro. You like all of them. Like,
It's like kids, man. It's like kids, man. You can't pick your favorite kid.
yeah, exactly. Yo, you can't pick your favorite kid, dog. I love you all equally, songs.
All right. What about you, James? You got a favorite?
Oh, I like the. Hey, yo, it's Sosa. Remember him?
Oh man, Rabbit
White
Foot.
boy that looked like
Yo,
Eminem.
Rabbit
Popping
Foot.
M's like M&M's. Remember them? That too.
Wow.
Cloverleaf Rabbit Foot is killer.
That's the bump, like yo, we be in the spot. I remember playing the song. I remember playing the Mix the Biz in the studio, dog, and the song came on, and then yo, we were just just meanwhile, just yo, you know what I mean? Like,
Ugly.
I wish somebody would right now. You know? That was the vibes on it, yo, for real. But nah,
I really like that song. Sosa's been one of my favorites since the first time I ever heard dude. He was one of the first people that came on the radio show when I Crack House. I had nothing but love for him. I really like the Sunreal and Rich Kid tune.
Okay.
We're already there. Or
yeah, I see the video too. The video came out either the same week or same day or something like that.
That's right when we dropped the tape.
Yeah, so that was a good look, and the video was real cool too.
Alright, for sure.
And even the Bishop exclusive is really cool.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, dope.
Because Johnny Giuliano produced that.
Okay.
Who is like some of the Wiz Khalifa songs that we all love are produced by Johnny Giuliano.
Okay.
So that's an
that
interesting
beat- that
beat
beat's
to hear
fire,
Bishop
dog.
on first of all, and
Right.
that's like a first look at a complete track that will come whenever
Whenever it comes
they
out.
get to it.
Most definitely.